Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to become a pilot. Make sure you watch to the end of the video. I'm going to give you useful tips on how to save thousands of dollars on your training. Hey guys, my name is Omar. I'm a 20-year flight instructor, 20,000 hours of flight time, 10 years as an airline captain, current flight school owner, and I've been working on getting my A&P for the past 3 years. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. My goal is to help you guys out and give you useful tips on how to go about your flight training. A really smart pilot once told me that a smart pilot will learn from their mistakes. A smarter pilot will learn from other people's mistakes. So my goal is to help you learn from my mistakes over the past 20 years. All right, so the first step to becoming a pilot is you got to go get your medical exam done. You can't go to any regular doctor. You've got to go to what's called an AME, Aviation Medical Examiner. Those doctors are listed on the FAA's website, faa.gov. Second thing is you got to be 17 to take your test. So you can actually start training at any age. We've got a lot of high school students that start 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. You can take lessons at any age. You got to be 17 to actually take the test. All right, so the next step that I would recommend is actually taking an introductory flight at the school that you're considering. Call the school, ask them if you can take a demo flight. Usually they're about 30 minutes in length. You should be able to actually get to fly the airplane. Now, obviously the instructor is going to do the takeoff and landing. You should be able to get to fly the airplane. Once you're at the school, you get to meet the instructors. You get to meet possibly the owner. You should meet the owner. And you get a general sense, the vibe of what's going on in the school and if it's the right fit for you. The introductory flight is going to give you an idea as to whether this stuff just freaks you out or if you come back and decide, wow, when can I go up again? All right, guys, congratulations. You decided to sign up. You're at the school. What's next? So there's two parts. There's what we call a practical, and then there's a written exam. The written exam, you got to go to an approved facility and take a computerized test. It's 60 questions. You got to score at 70% on it. I personally won't sign or endorse my students to take the test unless I see them scoring at least a 90% on the test. The reason for that is because when you actually go take what we call your Checkride, your test with the FAA, they're going to look at that test result. And if you got a really low score, they're actually required to go over the questions you missed. So it's going to be a longer exam. And second, they're going to form judgments on the type of pilot or student you are, because they're thinking this guy had lots of practice. He went in to take the test and he only got a 75. First impressions are everything. You want to set a good first impression. Show up to the Checkride, hand them that piece of paper and say, I got a 97% on this test. All right, guys, so here's the fun part, the actual flying part. This is what we call the practical part. So what experience do you have to qualify to take your test? You got to have 40 hours of actual flight time logged in your logbook. What do those 40 hours consist of? Well, 20 of it has to be with your flight instructor, 3 hours of instrument experience, 3 hours of nighttime flying, 3 hours of cross-country experience. So that doesn't mean you're flying from LA to New York or something like that. The definition of cross-country is 50 nautical miles straight line distance from your departure airport. That's it. And then the last thing is you have to have 3 hours of prep. Prep is defined as flying done within the last 60 days of your Checkride. You got to have 10 hours of solo time of that 40. So what are those 10 hours of solo time? Solo means you're flying by yourself without the flight instructor. 5 of those 10 hours have to be cross-country flying. The other 5 hours, you and your instructor can decide what you want to work on. If you want to keep going on the cross-countries, you can do that. Some people want to do pattern work and just practice their takeoffs and landings. You can do that. It's really whatever you and your instructor agree upon. If you look up the national average, according to the FAA database, average person spends about 74 hours to get their license. Why is the minimum 40 and the most people take about 74? Because it really depends on where you do your training. If you do your training in the middle of nowhere, where it's not very populated, you're going to spend less time getting your license simply because there's not as many people in your way and you're getting things done a lot quicker, I would be careful with that, because that's not necessarily a good thing. As a pilot, you want to be exposed to a lot of experience in difficult situations. And when I did my training, I wanted to learn at a busy airport. Hence, I picked John Wayne because I wanted to be exposed to challenging scenarios where at one point, if I was going to go fly by myself with passengers, I wanted to have the confidence to be able to do that kind of stuff. So there's pros and cons to picking a more challenging airport versus picking an airport in the middle of nowhere. If you fly about 3 days a week, it's typically going to take you about 4 to 6 months to get your license. The reason I say 4 to 6 months is there's a lot of things that people don't think about. Weather is going to cancel some of your lessons. Your instructor is going to get sick. You're going to get sick. There's going to be a lot of unforeseen mechanicals with the airplane. Of course, there's your typical oil change or 100-hour inspection or that type of thing. Well, we know that's coming. There's going to be times when there's maintenance to the aircraft. You don't know what's coming. You don't know when that starter is going to decide to give out. You don't know when you show up in the early morning and you have a dead battery, flat tire. So that's all factored into that 4 to 6 month time frame if you're consistently going about 3 days a week for your training. All right, guys, so the second tip is take your written exam by the time you solo. I can't tell you how many times people have left that thing to the last minute and their check ride's coming up, they don't prepare, they don't take the test, and we end up having to cancel their check ride and push it back. Well, pushing back a check ride and rescheduling it, sometimes these examiners don't have time. They're full. They've got other students there, and they will tell you the next available slot is in 2 months from now. Well, what are you going to do during those 2 months? Either A, you're going to sit on the sidelines because flying is expensive, and when you get back into it, now you've regressed in training. Or B, you're going to continue training, which means you're spending more money. So get that written out of the way so that you can really focus on finishing out strong and getting your check ride completed on time and on budget. The third tip I'm going to give you, very critical, is consistency. Be consistent with your training. Set up a time and a day that you can do it before you even start. Say, I'm going to do training Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. or 2 p.m. Consistency is one of the biggest things to your training. If you're not consistent, you're not going to have that consistent progress. When you get to certain aspects of your training where you're going to struggle on, if you're not flying consistently, those are typically the times where I see people kind of dropping out because they're not seeing the performance. Well, it's because they're not coming in consistently. So make sure you're consistent with the training. All right, guys, thanks for watching my video. If you found the video useful, click that like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting out a lot of tips that hopefully will help save you guys time and money to get your license. Thank you.